He gave a very detailed description of what happened each time he visited,
ARCO.
including talking about the person from 44112 on the roof observing when he went. So he even mentioned that in his report. So he was very, very thorough. The only trepidation that I have in terms of, say, citing them continuously from a criminal perspective, which we could do, is I just don't want them to abandon the site and leave us with $5 million
That's
worth
what they're
of
gonna
rubble
do.
to remove.
You can't stop that.
Now, I'm sorry, go ahead. No, go ahead.
So, I really like what you said. That's beautiful. And I am willing to work with you. We work as a committee on some sort of a questionnaire, right? That we could, and I'll go and hand deliver them to all the residents up the street. If we can get the city to give us some postage paid envelopes so that they can fill out these questionnaires and send them back. So we can hear from the residents. Prepaid postage.
Yeah.
We can, before we move further on any of this stuff, let's hear from the residents that are there what's going on. Because I talked to the guy in the gas station who's the owner, and he said, man, we don't have no soot. You don't see soot on the machines. It's not smell. The only thing we have is a couple guys over here.
God.
They say his voice is all messed up because now we find out he was on the roof. What he doing up on people's roof? Who knows? But
I'm everywhere.
But
we're everywhere.
if we do this questionnaire, right? We get them back from the residents who are there. Now we have something hard and concrete. We don't have to do he say, she say. We got it right from them.
Yeah, well, questionnaire, petition, I don't, what do you think?
Questionnaire.
Questionnaire?
I think we've been dealing with this situation for about 2 years now. And I think to you, Wheeler, we've tried every legal means to get
You also submitted something to him as well.
We were all over there, about a year and a half ago, in the backyard.
Right.
We were all over there. If the people were willing to do the questionnaire, I think they would be trepidatious about whether it's going to be an outcome, anything's going to happen with it. Joey's been trying to do some things. Every time we discuss this, you said the key thing today, they're in compliance. I mean, they haven't broken any laws, so this makes the situation very difficult. The nuisance is an option that we can use to go after them. That's probably the only option. Now, but does it have any teeth? I mean, will it make any difference? Now, Mr. Riley has done a corporate move. He's no longer with ARCO. I guess now he's going to finish tearing down houses, or whatever he's doing right now with his company. So my thing is, if we go through this process, we do the questionnaire like Brandon has suggested, in the end, will it have some teeth? Will it make a difference? Will we get anything done? That's my question.
My thing is, I think that with the input of the residents, not only just physically there on Noble Road, Hellenist Brown, just in the vicinity, coupled with a letter to community development to initiate this abatement, saying, this is more of a reason as to initiate this abatement. We don't think that would, because a letter from council to the administration to go ahead and initiate the abatement, the whole issue was dodged and just said he was compliant. But him being compliant has nothing to do with the fact that he may be a nuisance to the residents.
Let's get the questionnaire. I think would probably be the first step, so that we get a sense of how the residents feel. We know here that he's in compliance.
She owns the dump.
Right? So we know he's in compliance.
He doesn't own the dump.
With county, state, he's in compliance. Let's get a questionnaire.
Well, what we're going to say, ARCO. We're going to say ARCO, not specifically.
I didn't say anybody's name.
No, because you kept saying he and he was.
He, him, her, ARCO.
Well, I want to ask Crown, not to cut you off. You've been dealing with these people for the last 7-8 months. How do you think they would be receptive to a questionnaire? Do you really think that I don't think they think we can get anything done.
No, I think that they still want something done.
Okay.
I know for a fact that people in that area, you know, I'm a resident over there, Ms. Green is a resident over there. People aren't, you know, gonna just roll over and die. It's just, you know, Ms. Dillard, I've talked to her just last week. So they're still trying to find out if there's any other updates, if there's anything else that we're being able to do. What we can do is follow home rule. It's outlined in our charter to abate a nuisance. That's one thing that we have to do.
Well, I'm willing to do
Let's
my
try
part.
and work on getting the questionnaire out to the residents and for whoever. I mean, it doesn't just affect people that live right there. It's just an eyesore, period. So we need to look at the beautification of that property as well, because we want to encourage people and not discourage them from being in the area. And I think that they have a responsibility. You know, just like we're talking about boarding up vacant houses and going and assessing an abatement of a nuisance for homeowners within the city. Why can't we get a company that's making, you know, $50,000, $40,000 a week? Why can't they commit to the same standard of assessing that, you know, that abatement for a nuisance? So my thing is, you know, it's easy to go after the little man and say, hey, we're going to assess this for you. The administration should be just as willing to go and research this nuisance or abatement of a nuisance for ARCO. And that's my thing. I mean, each attempt to have them physically do this, they're saying he's compliant. Well, we know that he's compliant, but what we're saying is that it's a nuisance. And it's a nuisance in a big way to our residents, and that's what. So what do you think we should do? You said just start with the questionnaire?
I think we should start with the questionnaire.
As opposed to a petition?
Yeah, I wouldn't do a petition. I think that's too formal. I think the questionnaire would give us a good baseline for residents, businesses, and maybe we can cover a couple streets over there that you think are immediately impacted. Helen S. Brown is great. I actually talked to the guy who's building that restaurant there, and he just complained about the look behind it.
The aesthetics?
The aesthetics, right? He didn't say anything about smell and whatnot. He just said, you know, it looked bad.
And so that's specifically outlined in 1313 too.
What's that?
As far as well, it doesn't say aesthetics, but it talks about as far as if you have a business entity and it's, you know, because of the way it looks, it's infringing upon maybe his business. Because who wants to eat at a restaurant with a pile of rocks behind it?
I apologized to him and told him that the guy or the person who was then running it had promised the fence. Right? Now he's probably mad with me because that was, what was that, July? I think I saw him.
Yeah, he did, yeah.
So who's put the restaurant? Who wants to put the restaurant?
It's an African American guy, I can't remember his name, but he's basically building it on his
I see the structure.
time off.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
All right, so we're gonna have to commit to a time. What I would suggest that if you have any questions or anything that you'd like to see in the survey or in the questionnaire, if you can email me or Dr. Guy, and then we can bring it together, you know, separate from each other. You want to use your
give you my
email?
suggestion. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. But I'll get Dr. Guy. You love that, don't you, Brad?
All right,
Send him a
so
text.
all right. So, do you have anybody have any questions about that or anything that they like to say?
Yes.
Yes, Mr.
I believe that we're past the point of a questionnaire.
There you go.
I do think that something a little bit more proactive should be done.